Alright guys, we're back again with more of Steins Gate. I know I left you guys on a little odd note, but it was only because it was just pretty hilarious with the whole ridiculous amount of inventions they created, especially the phone wave. But anyways, we're going to come back to it right now, and so if anything else, hope you all continue to enjoy. Thank you again for the love and support, and let's continue on. Alright everyone, welcome back. We return to this guy's ridiculous invention. This is the voice of Mayushi Guidance, the system Daru programmed to operate this phone wave.
マユシーの声聞こえてきた？
少し黙れ。マユシーガイダンスが聞こえなくなる。
こちらからタイマー操作ができます。
This is so ridiculous because he could have just set the timer to begin with by just pressing the button, but instead he's got to listen to a Mayushi voice. It's like a longer, roundabout way of turning on the microwave.
シャープボタンを押した後、温めたい秒数をプッシュしてください。例えば、1分ならシャープ60、2分ならシャープ120です。
For 2 minutes, 120. Entering the command properly will cause the phone wave tentative to function like a normal microwave. Instead, we're going to deliberately mess up and enter 120 hashtag. That should do it. This method was originally a simple mistake on Mayuri's part, but it somehow starts the freezing process. The phone wave comes to life. The turntable begins to rotate.
綺麗なターンテーブルだろう。普段と違って逆回転してるんだぜそれ。
何？逆回転？
I never noticed that.
そこに重大な意味があるかもしれない。漁師の振る舞いにも影響してくる問題であり、奮闘の規則を導入して。
Alright, what's Hun's rule? That I don't know. The rule governing the placement of an atom's electrons. The rule states that orbitals of the same energy are each filled with one electron of the same spin before they are filled with a second, also known as Hun's rule of maximum multiplicity. Ah.
あるわねえよ。
ないか。
ないね。
そうか。
The three of us wait and stare at the spinning bananas. After 120 seconds pass, the microwave chimes. Mayuri takes the bananas out.
ゲルバナの出来上がり。
The bananas have become, not bananas, gelatinous blobs coated with a thin membrane. After Mayuri discovered that the phone wave had a freezing function, we attempted to freeze a bunch of bananas. This is what happened. It just gets more confusing each time.
ダルよ。このバナナ、食べてみようとは思わないか思うはずだ。我らの理念達成の犠牲となり散ったダルに敬礼。
すげえまずそうじゃん。
味は関係ない。食べることに意味があるのだ。さあダルよ、遠慮することはない。骨は拾ってやるから思い切ってズズイと行くがいい。
いらね。
ではマユリ、お前にその名誉を譲ろう。
なんかね、ゲルバナは中身がデロデロでブニュブニュだったよ。
Wait, she already tried one?
味もしないし、全然美味しくなかった。
デロデロでブニュブニュか。ダルよ、どう思う？
ブニュブニュバナナか。ブニュブニュのバナナ。
Why are you repeating what she said?
マユシ、あなたのバナナブニュブニュだねって言ってみて。
Oh my god.
ダルくん、鼻血出てる。
いいから言ってみてください。お願いします。
あなたのバナナブニュブ
言わせるな手の額。
Dado retreats after I hit him with a tissue box. Mayuri looks at us with an innocent smile. She doesn't get it, obviously. Anyway.
ゲル状になったということは反固形。すなわち分子同士の結びつきが弱くなっている可能性がある。
What could have partially liquefied the bananas?
そうか、わかったぞ。
I turn to the whiteboard and write freezing in the middle. Then I cross it out and slap the board with my hand.
俺たちは冷凍機能だと思い込んでいたが実は違ったのだよ。
A bold statement if I do say so myself. So why isn't anyone surprised?
さあお前たち、なんだってと叫ぶがいい。ここは叫ぶところだ。
Their reactions are pathetically weak. Mayuri probably didn't even understand half of what I said.
冷凍機能じゃないのは分かってるっつうの。
Oh,
問題は、じゃあこの機能って何ぞ？何が起きてんの？ってことじゃん。
冷凍の逆なら解凍じゃないのかな。
実に愚鈍な意見だなマユリ。それでは普通の電子レンジと同じではないか。
じゃあどういうこと？
it's a phone wave.
それが分かんないから悩んでるんだお。
うん。
He's right. To be honest, I haven't a clue. Daibiru. In any case, there's nothing we can do about it now. It's time for Dadu and I to head to Daibiru. There's going to be a seminar at ATF. And we have to be there. It's part of our studies at Tokyo Denki University. Mayuri. You know, I'm really sad about dropping my Upa. It's worse than last year when I missed buying a fatty ghetto froggy. I pretty much understand what she's saying there, so. Summer credits basically. We have to attend the seminar and write a report. Come to think of it, what's today's seminar about again? I looked it up before the summer holiday began. I should have written it down.
ご覧ください。秋葉原駅前のビルに謎の巨大物体が墜落しています。現在、警察による規制が敷かれ、ビルの前まで行くことはできませんが、遠くから見る限りでは墜落した物体は人工衛星のように見えます。
As we cross the overpass that connects UPX and Daibiru, I look down to see a huge crowd of people moving to the plaza. There's seven. There's even some garishly dressed young men and women, the sort you don't usually see around Akiba. Everyone is walking around the main street, which is still cordoned off.
ダルはラジカンに見物に行かないのか？
どうせ行っても見られないっしょ。もちろんネットに上がってくる情報にはほぼ目を通してるのだぜ。アットちゃんのスレ数100超えたし、勢いすげえ。
Also, that's why he was staring at his phone earlier. We enter Daibiru and take the elevator to the 5th floor ATF assembly hall.
あー、涼しい。生き返るぜ。あばばばばばばばばばばばば。
Unlike the lab, Daibiru has air conditioning. Yet another reason for our diligent participation in the seminar.
電話レンジカッコ仮の件だが、俺は答えを導き出したかもしれん。
そのカッコ借りってめんどいからいい加減やめるべき。
I won't give in that easily. Even if no other lab members use name subject to change, I will carry on until the day we decide its true name.
そんなことは今はどうでもいい。
お得意のとんでも理論でもひらめいちゃったん？
何を言うか。俺はいつもこの世の神羅万象すら超越したあらゆる可能性について思考を巡らせているのだ。とんでもとか言うな。
神羅万象を超越ってつまり何でもありってことじゃね？理論ってレベルじゃねえぞ。
ダルよ、電話レンジカッコ仮はシュタインズゲートを開く鍵だという気がするのだが、どう思う？
そのシュタインなんとかってところからして意味不明なわけだが、
A chime signals our arrival on the 5th floor. The elevator doors open slowly. As we step out of the elevator, I bump into someone. I quickly grab the person's shoulder to keep them from falling.
すいません。
What? It's a girl. And I recognize her. So did he go into an alternate time? An alternate timeline where she's alive? Impossible. Chills run down my spine. I stare at her, face in disbelief. I saw this girl just 3 hours ago. Makise Kurisu.
何か。
Yeah, you were dead. Kurisu frowns and tries to back away, but I don't let go of her shoulder. My grip tightens.
貴様は死んだはずだ。なぜここに。しかも
There isn't a single bloodstain on her clothes, and they're the same one she was wearing when I found her. Only a serious wound could have produced that much blood. Yet as far as I can tell, she's completely uninjured.
無傷。
痛い。離して。
Kurisu pushes me away. Then she shoots me a wary glare. I realize that I'm gaping in disbelief.
何なの？
無事だったのか。怪我は平気なのか。いや、そんなはずはない。マキタ・クリスは何者かに刺されて血まみれで。
またその話かよ。
Daru interrupts. Wait, there's something strange about what he just said.
またその話とはどういう意味だ。
だって1週間前にも僕にそんなメール送ってきたじゃん。
メール？俺が？何よバカな。マキセ・クリスが殺されているのを見たのはほんの3時間前だぞ。
ちょっと勝手に殺さないでくれますか？私ピンピンしてますんで。
そういえばあのメール変な感じだったな。送信日時が1週間後になってた。つまり未来から来たっつうか。
未来から来た？
ネットで妙な考察サイトでも見たのかダル。お前がとんでも理論を言い出すとは珍しい。
So it's weird for him to talk about, but when he does it, it's okay. Also, if the text he sent was from a week ago, then technically he's not wrong. Then he did enter a different timeline.
違うがな。確かにメールの日付は1週間後の28、あ、そっか。28日だから今日じゃん。
Daru pulls out his phone and shows it to me. He's right, the email was sent from my phone. He received it on July 21st at 12:56, but it was sent on July 28th at 12:54. It was split into 3 emails. Someone stabbed, bed, Makiseke. Urisu, don't. Why did I send such a short message in 3 parts? And it looks like the 3rd email got cut off. I do recognize the content though.
これは3時間前に誰に送ったメールだ。
But I sent 1 mail, not 3. And there should be more text. Did Daru really get this a week ago? Unless he sent that text, but it was happening in multiple timelines. So it was happening in 3 multiple timelines, different timelines, where he was texting at that very moment, which is probably why 3 text messages were sent at the same time when technically it should have been 1. It doesn't necessarily explain why they were sent in disarray though, but
興味深いわね。
suddenly Kurisu is standing next to me, peering intently at the screen of Daru's phone. Oh, right, the email's not important. Well, maybe it is, but not right now. The real question is why she's still alive. Is she an illusion? No, an evil spirit? Am I haunted? I don't believe in such unscientific drivel. I am a mad scientist. I timidly reach out to Kurisu's face. My fingertips stroke her hair. Feels silky. Quite the cuticles.
ある。実体がある。やはり幽霊だというのは考えすぎか。
オカリン、まずくね？
I poke Kurisu's cheeks with my fingers. Such softness. Dead bodies don't feel like this. Not that I've ever touched one.
おい。
Wait a minute. We already touched when I bumped into her coming out of the elevator. I even grabbed her shoulders before being pushed away. And I still doubt that she had substance. That's just proof of how confused I am. If she's alive, then what I did see back at Radican. Then what did I see back at Radican? What was that scream I heard? Were they hallucinations? Just like that mass disappearance? That's right, she was stabbed. Maybe she's just hiding her wounds. This requires further investigation. I grabbed the hem of her blouse and slowly lift it.
己は警察に突き出されたいのか？
俺は真実を知りたいだけだ。
I just want to know the truth. I stare straight back at Kurisu as she trembles with anger and lift her blouse a little higher.
何が真実よ、この変態！バカなの？死ぬの？
Oh, he still wants to see if there's any blood marks or scars on her. She pushes her hand away.
ルイスちゃんの名台詞。来たこれ。
Daru shot something silly, but I ignore him and press Kurisu.
俺は確かに見たのだ。
Alright, let's check out what that reference was before we continue onwards. Louise-chan, the main heroine of the anime, Oh, I should have known. I know that anime. Her voice actress is the queen of Tsundere, Tsugimiyari, nicknamed Tsugiyu. Okay. The anime was great too, by the way.
まさかあんた、今、私の下着を。
Kurisu's face turns bright red. She firmly pulls her blouse down.
この手の目がそうではない。
Earlier this afternoon, after Dr. Nakabachi's presentation, someone killed Makise Kurisu and left her in a pool of blood. I carefully explained everything that I saw.
ドクター、中バッチ。
オカリン何言ってるん？中鉢の発表会なら中止になったじゃん。
So in this timeline, his presentation was canceled, whereas in the one I was originally in, it was going on. I'm reminded a little bit of Dual now.
中止？
そう、人工衛星の墜落で。
Something's wrong. Our stories aren't matching. It's the same thing that happened right after I saw the mass disappearance. Mayuri's story didn't match mine. I need to know. Am I caught in some sinister plot? Is this another organization's conspiracy?
ねえ、ちょっとあなた。
我が名は法院京馬だ。
違うよ。全然違うよ。
法院さん、今の話、詳しく教えてほしいんですが。
Looks like she finally understands I'm not lying. But I still don't understand why my memories don't match everyone else's. I doubt that I can give her a good explanation. Just then, an older man steps out of the assembly hall.
牧瀬さん、そろそろ時間ですし、始めましょう。
はい。
Kurisu glances at me one more time, then sighs and heads toward the small conference room.
オカリン、とりあえず僕らも行こうぜ。
行くとはどういう意味だ？
So if that's the case, what happened to the original Rintaro in this timeline then? Did he die too? Or is it one of those things like his counterpart isn't no, he has a counterpart because his friends still recognize him.
講義を聞きに来たんだろ
Ah, that. Daru follows after Kurisu. Did she come to attend the lecture too? Strange. Why would the girl genius Makise Kurisu need to attend a lecture like this? Okay, my guess was a bit off. The girl genius didn't come to attend the lecture.
今日は私のような若輩者の話を聞きに来てくださってありがとう。
講義をする方だったのか。
Japan's famous girl genius Makise Kurisu, who had her thesis published at the tender age of 17. According to Daru, she turned 18 a few days ago. I first heard about her when Daru pointed her out in a Gossip magazine article. That's when he told me that she was going to be a guest at ATF. I'd forgotten all about it.
こういうのは初めてなので緊張してますが、ガチガチなのは多めに見てください。どうぞよろしく。
The audience is pretty mixed. It's most students like us, but there are also a couple professors. And Kurisu just gave me a sharp look. What did I do? When I returned her stare, she quickly averted her eyes. I don't care if she's a genius or whatever. I still don't like her. She may have these people fooled with her timid girl act, but I learned at Radicon how cunning and aggressive she really is. Even if her murder was some kind of hallucination, my judgment of her character is still correct.
今回タイムマシーンをテーマに話してほしいと言われまして、正直専門外なのですが、頑張って話してみようと思います。
ほう、タイムマシンか。
最初に結論を言ってしまうと、タイムマシンなんていうのはバカらしい代物だということです。
異議あり
I knew it. Every member of the audience, not just Kurisu, is startled by my interruption. Perhaps I'm being slightly rude here, but I'm not one to just sit and listen to some genius girl's drivel.
タイムマシンが作れないと決めつけるのは早計だ。
オカリン、無茶しやがって。
You magnificent fool. Sitting at my side, Daru throws me a small salute. ATF staff are approaching, probably to kick me out. Perhaps I got too carried away.
まあ、はい、いいですよ。ディスカッション形式の方が話も弾むでしょうし。
Thanks to her proposal, the event staff refrained from escorting me out. She sounds a little pissed, but let's not mind that.
でもその前に、私の考えを話させてください。これまで世界中の科学者たちがタイムトラベルについての理論を提唱してきました。主な理論だけでも11に及びます。
What are the major theories of time travel? I've heard about the cosmic string theory at least.
中性子星理論、ブラックホール理論、高速理論、タキオン理論、ワームホール理論、エキゾチック物質理論、宇宙ひも理論、量子重力理論、セシウムレーザー光理論、素粒子リングレーザー理論、ディラック反粒子理論。
Not bad. Perhaps Makise Kurisu is a worthy rival after all.
でも、それらの理論はいずれも仮説の域を出ません。場合によっては、11個の中の別の理論によって否定されているものさえある。
では、12番目の理論が発見されたとしたらどうかな。
そうですね。それは13番目の理論によって否定されるかもしれませんね。
Damn, she twisted my question and used it against me. Touche, genius girl. Suddenly, I feel eyes on me. Some puffed up professors are giving me hard looks from across the room. Maybe I got too carried away. I don't want to risk losing my credits. I should back off for now.
ちなみに未来へのタイムトラベルなら今すぐにでも可能ですよ。アインシュタインの相対性理論によればね。
For the uninitiated, let's check that out. Refers to both Einstein's special theory of relativity published in 1905 and his general theory of relativity published in 1916, represented by the famous equation of E equals mc squared. The special theory of relativity is defined by the following axioms. Objects cannot travel faster than the speed of light. As velocity approaches the speed of light, the passage of time approaches zero. As velocity approaches the speed of light, length approaches zero. As velocity approaches the speed of light, mass approaches infinity. The general theory of relativity adds the following axioms. In the presence of a large gravitational fields, the passage of time slows down. In the presence of large gravitational fields, space curves. In the presence of large gravitational fields, mass increases.
例えば今すぐ羽田空港に行ってそこから沖縄行きあたりの飛行機に乗ればいい。目的地に降り立った時その人は10億分の1秒くらい私より未来に進んでいる。
What does that mean?
移動する速さが高速に近づけば近づくほど時間は遅く流れる。それが相対性理論ですから。極論を言えば光と同じほどの速さで走ることができたら流れる時間はその人だけ半分になるわけで24時間その速度で走り続ければ周囲では48時間が経ったことになるから丸1日分未来へ飛んだことになるんですよ。法王院京馬さん。
Ah, look at that smug look. Why are you singling me out? I'm doing my best to hold back, but it looks like Makise Kurisu wants to pick a fight. I wish that she hadn't said the name in front of so many people. It's too great a risk to let others know my true name.
それはへりくつではないかな。
Now, Professor calmly makes an objection. True, Makise Kurisu's example isn't strictly time travel per se, but I never expected an older man, a professor at that, to refute an 18-year-old girl. Maybe he's just testing the genius girl's resilience.
そうですね。
The genius girl readily concedes the point. If she were a normal 18-year-old, it would be impossible for her to be this calm in front of all these people. A normal 18-year-old would panic when refuted by such a distinguished-looking professor. And yet, Makise Kurisu is giving off an aura of gutsiness that says, I can take this guy on.
では過去には行けるのかな。
過去にだって今すぐ行けますよ。夜になったら望遠鏡で空を覗いてみてください。何万年も前の光を見ることができるでしょ。
それもへりくつですよ。
This time, it's a nearby student who objects.
まあ、今までのは前置き。
Was it just me, or did Kurisu look a little nervous just now?
例えば実際に皆さんが体ごと過去や未来へ行くことができるようなタイムマシンを作るにはまず何が必要か考えてみましょう。代表的なところだと宇宙紐理論かワームホール理論かな。宇宙紐というのは超巨大な質量を持つ紐みたいな形のひび割れです。
A string-shaped crevice. That must be how they enter our universe. But do cosmic strings really exist?
ひびの幅は素粒子と同じぐらいで長さは最低でも銀河系と同じくらいと思っていただければいいです。
Alright, let's see what an elementary particle is. The smallest unit of matter. However, the definition of what constitutes an elementary particle is unclear. Certain elementary particles have a corresponding antiparticle with an opposite charge. Okay.
これは巨大な質量であるがゆえに時空を歪める性質を持っているんです。その歪んだ時空を紐を中心にあなたがぐるっと一周すると360度以内で回りきることができる。要するにワープみたいなことができるということ。これ時空の角度欠損って言います。
Alright, everyone, I'm going to end it here for today. Thank you all for watching. When we come back, we're going to continue on and listen in on Makise Kurisu's lecture.